Well, hello there, friends. Game buddies.
Game buddies.
I got one thing to say. You say your time is coming soon, but just like Oklahoma, mine is coming sooner. Welcome to Respawn Aimfire, the kick-ass irreverent gaming podcast from Affable Idiots. I'm one of your hosts, Adam, and today we have with us Jack Harlow himself, Chad Michael Lennis.
Hello. Is that Oklahoma thing a quote? Did that go over my head? Or is...
Yeah,
Okay,
so
okay.
I've been listening to Lil Nas X a little bit, right?
Got it. Okay.
And Jack Harlow, we'll get into it. Jack Harlow he's from Kentucky originally. So I was like, oh, I got to support him. This little white dude out here rapping. Good job, my guy. But he moved to Atlanta and had to learn because in Kentucky he was writing his lyrics, right? I think this is all from that barbershop show that's on HBO with LeBron James as the host or whatever. But he went to Atlanta and they're like, yo, we don't write in Atlanta. It's just like, it's like battle rap stuff. So like you just have to have things that you can just like, it's all wordplay, right? It's not, you don't sit down and write a song. It's like you need to be able to just spit stuff out that's topical, and it's all like puns and stuff like that. So, and it's in that song with Lil Nas X, he says, you said your time is coming soon, but just like Oklahoma, mine is coming sooner. Oklahoma Sooners is the name of the college.
Got it.
And it's just shit like that over and over and over. It's just like a reference, talking shit. So I just want to let everyone know our time is coming sooner than theirs.
Thank you for explaining the joke. That makes it a lot funnier whenever you have to explain it. So I apologize.
And it's not funny. I'm proclaiming it. I'm proclaiming it to the world. I'm letting everyone know my time is coming sooner, like Oklahoma.
Dope. And I'm who? Jack Preacher? Tom Cruise?
Jack Harlow.
Okay, almost.
So 233 of Respawn Aimfire. Catch us on twitch.tv/Affable Idiots Sunday evenings at 8:30. And then YouTube and podcast services on Tuesdays. Upcoming on today's shows, besides talking about battle rap, we have another bad remaster got released. Oh shit, here we go again. Metroid Dread numbers have been revealed. Xbox is having a big week. Harry Potter, we got details on the movies and the video games. And we're going to do a little PS5 and Xbox Series X first big boy birthday review.
Oh, happy
That's what
birthday.
I'm calling it. They both just turned 1 year old. Very, very close to each other.
It's amazing. It's incredible. They're a year old already.
It's wild. But we're going to go ahead and start with the main quest. GTA Trilogy Chaos. Oh, shit. Here we go again.
Oh, shit.
Yep.
Here we
This
go
is from
again.
Andy Robinson at VGC. Following, again, everyone knows, GTA Remaster Collection Definitive Edition ×3 came out last week. Following the Remasters Collection's release on last Thursday, data miners uncovered that what they called a holy grail within its game files. This included basically all of the music that was removed from the games because of licensing deals, but they're just in the game code and they were just blocked. But everything is still there and it's just turned off and not able to play. Even more tantalizing for fans was the discovery that the collection's code contains an uncompiled version of the main.scm file, which contains all the game scripts for GTA 5 or GTA 3, Vice City, and San Andreas, including cut and missing content, as well as notes from Rockstar North staff from that era. So these guys were making notes in the 2000s, and that is all in the game code. I believe also Hot Coffee is somehow still included in that collection. Again, it's turned off, but it's in there. Grand Theft Auto, the Trilogy Definitive Edition, had a chaotic launch. Rockstar confirmed it pulled the PC version to remove unintentionally included game files. Rockstar's PC game launcher went back online after about 24 hours, but Definitive Edition remains locked out and not available for purchase. So, man, what a launch for those games, huh?
Yeah. How does that happen? Like, I know how it happens. They take some old code, they update it for the port, and they don't go back and like check and things. Like usually they probably like flag things to hide them, and they're like, we're waiting on whether or not we can use this song due to licensing. Let's just flag it to hide it for now, and then if we get it, we'll unflag it. Like I know that's how it all works, but like Hot Coffee, how does like literally when anyone thinks of GTA, at least our age, when anyone thinks of GTA, the first thing that goes in their brain, especially of like this trilogy, they're like, oh, remember San Andreas? Remember Hot Coffee? What a crazy wild ride that was. Like, how does that get past you again? Like, you're releasing these games for what the third, fourth, fifth time. And how do you still forget to take out hot coffee again? The thing that made you have to take your game off of shelves, re-rate it as adult only, and then strip it out in order to get back to mature. Like, how does that get by you yet again? It blows my mind.
It's pretty wild. Like you said, oh shit, here we go again. Because remember, a couple weeks ago, Nintendo Online Expansion Pass, hey, play all these N64 games that are just the original code and we haven't done anything to them, and they play like the original code. And yeah, here we are again. They're just like straight up. It was like, again, I know there's more work to this, and I don't work in the video games, but it feels like copy and paste into a new engine.
Yeah.
And that's why the game looks more modern, because I think they changed the engine on it. But they literally just copy and pasted everything, and we're like, all right,
which goes to tell you,
there's
like,
more work than that. But
there's a lot. I haven't seen like a ton of stuff from the new release trilogy, but I've heard a lot of people that are upset with how it runs and all of that, like the quality of the remaster. Mm-hmm. And if you can tell from just this, like they probably literally copied and pasted, or just like took all the old shit and just dumped it in the new one without even checking to see what was in there, let alone if it runs well. So that goes to tell you probably the quality of the remaster that you're going to play with it as well, which is not great, apparently.
Yeah, I haven't actually played it. I know San Andreas is on Game Pass, so I could try that out. But I want to, like, looking at this, did they do any gameplay improvements? Like, it does look better. Well, certain parts look better. Some parts actually look worse, which is crazy. But certain parts, I'm like, okay, that's nice and pretty. But I'm like, is the game... Did they just like do like controls.exe and just like change them a little bit? But like the fact that it's the exact same files makes me think that the game isn't different, which it's a remaster, whatever.
Yeah.
But I'm like,
they did when they showed the trailer, at least there were quite a few like lighting improvements you could see for sure. Character models, like instead of having like a big like clump of fingers, they actually had individually defined fingers, which was nice to see. But
fingernails and stuff.
Yep. But it just seems like an incredibly lazy. Like no one even thought to QA this at all. No one thought to actually like look at the code you're putting in the game again. It's just blows my mind. It's wild that this comes from Rockstar is wild to me, which is known for like some of the top tier content in video games.
Yeah, I mean, this definitely was somebody's cousin. They're like, hey, do this port for us.
Exactly.
Rockstar didn't do any time on this.
Yeah.
And I do like, it is important to point out that this is a PC thing. Like, you're not, loading up your PS5 version of the game and getting into the, SCM files or whatever. But it's still insane. And then your launcher didn't work because they're like, ooh, we got to fix this super fast. So that's, man, remasters are tough, aren't they, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, I guess so. I wouldn't have thought so, but I guess so.
That is insane.
It's still wild, though, that as of this time, like, their solution is just like, all right, you can't buy it anymore on PC. Like, it's not on the launcher. It's not available for you. Like, sorry. Like, that's their solution to it. It's like, okay, interesting.
Come on, guys. Let's get it together. But anyways, we're going to go ahead and move off of that. We're going to move on. Here's what, Chad, let me be honest with you.
Yeah.
We've been having fun here, right? Like we have a good time.
We have a good jolly romp.
I was gonna put so many Jack Harlow lyrics in between each of these segments and just show you what battle rap is. Again, I'm a pun dude. Like I love fucking just like this, do this, handprint on our ass cheeks. Kind of, I'm all about it. But I just didn't have the time to do it, so I'm sorry.
It's all right. If you want to, like, in true battle rap form, like if you want to just freestyle, like that's totally cool too.
No.
Okay.
See, freestyling, you have things prepared and then you throw them out there. It's like having, the bullets and the gun separate, but you always have the bullets there ready to put in the gun.
Ooh, nice analogy.
You don't just make bullets out of thin air.
Well, you do in some video games.
Well, those are video games. This is real life.
You're right.
What'd you play, dude?
I played a few things. Actually, I have really exciting things to say about all three of these games that I played, which is weird because two of them are like, I'm playing these again. But I said last week I was playing God of War Ascension to get that platinum trophy. And I did get it. I had to play through basically the whole game again, just looking for a few collectibles and stuff. But that game gets a bad rap, and a little bit deservedly so, because it's like, I don't know. I get through the whole thing. It's like none of that was like very interesting, and I'm fighting this bug lady over and over, and their stupid things, and it's just not like a compelling game. But there were at least 4 or 5 times, especially in the first half of the game, where I was just completely overcome with how like the scale of what was going on around me. Which God of War 3 did incredibly well, and this game, which came afterwards, not chronologically, but in time, it came afterwards. Yeah, I was just flabbergasted that you're on this enormous hecatoncheires with 1 trillion arms, and there are buildings on his arms and his hands, and it's moving up in the air, and then you just like get really tiny, but you're still fighting all of these people over there, and then it zooms in and like his hand crushes it, and you're jumping up on his face. It is incredible. Like it's astounding the type of scale that Sony Santa Monica was able to pull off on a PS3, no less. Yeah, I'm just always blown away by God of War games.
I didn't know they had hecatoncheires.
Yeah.
That's like the coolest fucking thing from Greek mythology. It's like, I'm a big boy with 100 arms.
Yep.
All right.
Yep. Yeah, that's like a whole third to probably like 40% of that game is on the hecatoncheires.
That's pretty
cool.
cool.
I got that platinum. That was my 52nd platinum, and now I have every single God of War game platinum trophy, with the exception
Even the Ghost of Sparta?
I got Ghost of Sparta. Yep, I got
okay.
both the PSP games when they remastered them for the Vita. I got both of those platinums too. So, and the only one that I don't have is the God of War 3 remaster that came out on PS4, and that's just because I already have the God of War platinum, and I'm not gonna go, or the God of War 3 platinum for PS3, and I'm not gonna go do all that same shit again. So,
is it the same trophy list too? Probably.
I'm pretty sure it is. Yeah,
be pretty close. Yeah.
So I played that, had a great time with it, and that was my. Like, I had Prince of Persia out. I had the PS3 out for Prince of Persia, and I was like, before I put this away for another 10 years, let me, like, milk whatever I have to get out of it before I connect my Series X again, because Halo Infinite's coming up, so I got to make sure that's connected and ready to go. So, yep, PS3 is officially off the wall, and I started playing today The Last of Us Part 2, because I have a big list of games that I want to play over. I have, like, 9 days off around Thanksgiving. So I'm like, all right, I have a big list of like 7 games that I want to try and play through that whole week. And I'm only going to get through like 2 of them, I'm sure. But I was looking at the list and I was like, what can I start making a dent in now? Because I own The Last of Us Part 2 and I own Death Stranding, which is another one. But then the rest of them are games that I'm just going to get for Black Friday deals. So I'm like, all right, let me go back and work on Last of Us Part 2 Platinum. And I've already cried 3 times today. So thank you, Last of Us Part 2. One of them was I was just playing through the beginning of the game, and it was something that I didn't notice the first time, obviously because I didn't know this mission was in the game, but it was like foreshadowing something that happens later in a museum, and she just like picks up a brochure for dinosaurs, and she goes, oh, that was a good day. And the first time you play the game, you're like, I don't know what the fuck she's talking about. But this time I knew what she was talking about, and I just started crying on the spot. And then, the music is a big thing, and she's playing the guitar, and... Yeah, so I've already cried 3 times today. I'm going to just wreck myself emotionally for that, for a platinum trophy. Thank God, past me from 14 months ago or however long ago this came out, 16 months ago, something like that. Past me created, basically all I have left for the platinum is collectibles and like upgrading my guns and Ellie, which I have to now like roll over in a New Game Plus to do. And when you start New Game Plus, all of your collectibles in the game reset. Like you can't see which ones you've picked up because you're technically at the beginning of the game again. But they all still count for the overall save file. So I was like, I'm going into this chapter and I have no fucking clue what I'm looking for. Like, what do I already have and what do I not have already? And then I just happened to like, I wonder if I thought about this in advance and like made myself a checklist. Open up the Files and app on my iPad, and there's a big, giant IGN collectibles guide, and I marked off which ones that I already had back in June of last year, and I was like, yes! So now I know exactly what I'm going for, so I don't have to worry about finding every last thing. So thank you, past me.
That'd be rough, yeah.
And then the last thing that I did was... What?
How many you got? Like, how long do you think that'll take to finish and get the platinum for Last of Us 2?
I'm gonna do a whole other playthrough of it, which was, I think my first playthrough was 27 hours, but I'm playing on very easy difficulty right now, just to like get the story content and all that kind of stuff. So it'll probably be much less than that. So 20, maybe 18.
You know what's coming up now.
Yeah. And then I played Call of Duty Vanguard. I was suckered into buying it because my friends bought it, and they're like, let's play Vanguard. I was like, fine, I'll fucking play Vanguard. This is the second Call of Duty game I've ever bought. The first one was actually a few months ago, which was Cold War.
Yeah.
And this is the only Call of Duty campaign I've ever played. And I was really, really surprised at how much I enjoyed it. Like, I had a great time with this thing. First, I'm gonna go with like what I really, really liked, and then I'll like mention a couple of criticisms of it. The presentation, like overall presentation of this game, absolutely floored me. Like, the cutscenes are photorealistic. There were several times where I was like, holy shit, how do they accomplish this? Like, even the best, well, Pixar still like has a cartoony style, but like even the best animation I've seen in films doesn't even like quite touch this level. Like, there were times where these are legit real people. It was incredible. But not just the cutscenes, even gameplay and the character models in the gameplay was just really fucking detailed and impressive. And there are so many things going on behind the scenes to make it that way too that I didn't realize was a thing. Like, there's a feature, and this might have been a thing on PC for a while, but on PS5 there's this feature where you can, in the game, let it stream assets. So like, it can be, while you're playing, it can be downloading much higher quality assets to use in game, much higher, more detailed textures and things like that. And it's streaming those from the internet while you're playing, and it's like temporarily storing them on your hard drive. That way it's not like taking up 200 gigs of space just to play the game, which is like, blows my mind that we're now at a point where, you know, internet speeds are fast enough and hard drive speeds, and you don't have to worry about downloading something and then having to install it before you can use it. It's like in real time downloading and streaming it into your game. Blew my mind. There was also this, it's kind of like the AMD version of NVIDIA's DLSS feature, where it like, there's I forget what they call it. It's like Factory FX CAS or something like that. It's contrast adjustable sampling or something like that. Anyway, it also works on PS5, which is something that I like, blows my mind that we're doing that kind of stuff on consoles, that you can turn that feature on and it will like super sample the frames that it's making to make incredibly sharp textures and shit like that. Like, that blows my mind. Anyway, looks really, really good. But I think I mentioned on the podcast when they showed the single player campaign reveal a few months ago, and it was Polina's like sniper mission going through Stalingrad. I was like, the music, like the orchestration of it, that's what hooked me. And I was like, oh my God, I wonder if the music is in this was like created for the trailer, or whether it's part of the game and it like evolves with the game and the fight. And it does. It's through the entire thing. It's the same composer as the guy who did God of War. And it's fantastic.
Oh, Bear McCreary.
Yeah. And
He's dope.
It roped me in from the very beginning. It is incredibly tense. It's just like a ton of strings, and it's like really raw sounding. Like, it's not like really clean studio Hollywood strings. It's like really raw, visceral strings, and it's incredibly tense. There are so many amazing sequences. Like, I'm thinking about like the second mission of the game. You're dropped into a battlefield right outside. It's like the day before D-Day. And it's like really scary, honestly. There are jump scares and shit like that as you're like, all you have is a knife and you're running through trying to regroup with your squad. And it's like, it's legit terrifying. It's really scary. In fact, I texted Dallas, who's notably a scaredy cat for a lot of games. I was like, how did you get through this without pooping your pants? All around, it's just really impressive. And the sound design too. There's especially the guns and the haptics. Oh my God, the haptics and the triggers, Adam. All the guns feel really different, which is amazing. The haptics in there feel freaking amazing. But then I was playing with these AirPods Max plugged into my PS5 controller for 3D audio, and then I had the noise cancellation on, so I couldn't hear anything else from the outside world. And oh my God, there were times when like there's a mission where you have to crawl through the grass while there's a sniper shooting at you, and you have to like get to the tree line to find the sniper, and it's just constantly the whole time just like bullets whizzing by you and hitting the ground near you. And the combination of the 3D audio and these headphones while I was playing it, it was like I was there, man. I was crawling through the grass of wherever the fuck jungle place this was. I don't remember it all, but oh my God, it was incredible.
Probably France.
It was like some kind of tropical. I feel like it was in Japan somewhere. Yeah, I think it was in Japan.
Yeah, Pacific Islands. Yeah,
And it was, the sound design of that game was just fucking incredible. Yeah, all around amazing character, really great acting, really like the Mary from Lord of the Rings, and he was also Charlie on Lost.
that's right.
Like
he's a Nazi.
Yeah,
right?
he's like the most prominent Nazi in the game that you deal with a lot. He was fantastic. So I was really blown away with the presentation of this game. I had a really great time with it. It's like 5 hours long. My gripes with it are basically that the story itself, like the actual story, you're this group of 4 heroes, I guess, from all different areas, and you get captured like right off the bat, and you're going after this big Nazi baddie. But then most of the game is told as they go in one by one and get interrogated. You like hear a little bit of their backstory, so then you flash back a few years to like a mission that defined them, or an experience with their family that like defined why they are the way that they are. So like it was kind of interesting that way. But then it all comes together in the last mission, and you're just like, oh, this is the game. Like all of that was set up for this, and this is really cool. And you're going through all 4 of these different characters and all of their different unique skills, and then it's over. And I'm like, wait a minute. That's what I want to play. Like, I'm glad I got the backstory of all these people.
Mission of them together, right?
Yeah, I wanted it to be like this Avengers team up style thing where that's kind of a tainted word now, but I wanted, playing with these 4 characters, being able to switch on and off at the fly or like at scripted moments and be a team together and fuck shit up. And it only gave me a little bit of a tease at the end of that, but it was cool. I really enjoyed it. That was my very first Call of Duty campaign that I've ever played, and I had a good time. And like weirdly enough, I'm seeing a lot of really, really bad reviews for it too. So I was gonna.
That's what I was gonna ask next.
Yeah,
because campaigns are always like cool spectacles. Like even I haven't played Call of Duty forever, but that was always the thing. It's like you play the campaign for 5 hours, but it's like, oh man, awesome, cool set pieces and ridiculous, crazy stuff. But now that you're done with it, because like the things that I've seen that negative were like zombies is like bare fucking bones, like nothing at all.
Yeah, I haven't played zombies yet.
I guess multiplayer's whatever you feel like. But
we played some multiplayer, and I'm having fun with the multiplayer. Basically, just team deathmatch. And we played a little bit of Champions Hill, the new mode, which we played the alpha of together. Beta? Yeah, but we played the new, like the actual shipping version of it. We played it in trios, and it's awful. We suck
just
at
as bad as the alpha. Huh?
We suck at it really bad. Actually, we were back to back, like incredibly worse than we were in the alpha. We were just terrible. So It was not a fun time.
Okay.
So yeah, Call of Duty Vanguard. I'm really impressed. Obviously, I'll keep playing the multiplayer as long as the squad keeps playing multiplayer. But I'll try out zombies because everyone wants to play zombies. That's the big thing. So that's it. But I'm really interested in Forza 5 because I've heard a lot of great things about it. I don't have Game Pass yet, but hopefully I will next week with Black Friday deals. Tell me about Forza.
Yeah, Forza 5 is the Call of Duty of card games. No, that's a silly way to say that. Forza 5 is one of the highest rated games of the year, and I see why. It is. So the thing with me in card games, I'm not really a huge fan of card games. If it's like sim realistic, it's like Gran Turismo, never liked it. Forza Motorsport, don't like it. They're like, hey, why don't we do that, but we're fucking wild? How about we literally are Fast and the Furious? And I'm like, you got me. You got me, Captain. So yeah, it's great. Oh my God, dude, this game is one of the most prettiest things I've ever seen, dude. Like, yeah, you're talking about photorealistic shit. It is insane. Playing this game in like 60 frame, 4K, just going through the desert, and it's just like, oh my God, yeah, this game is crazy. And then it's just, you do ridiculous fun things. You know, I'm driving a Ford Bronco around the desert, Mexico. I'm doing like movie stunts. It's just, I like the Horizon games because they're silly. And
what does the minute-to-minute gameplay look like of a Horizon game?
So the base of the game is like, hey, we're going to drop you in this cool area. This game is Mexico. And there are different areas of this. So like there's a desert part, there's more like a low grasslands, and there's like a jungle-ish, and there's coastline or whatever. But the conceit of the game is that there's a big festival, the Horizon Festival, and it's just like, yo, all these car heads come here and just take over your country. And And then they're like, all right, we're putting on a festival. Everyone's into racing. We're going to be all racing. So then there's different types. So you literally have story missions. You can buy houses and all that, but you have story missions, which are like the big set piece, like, oh, you're driving down a volcano, you're jumping out of a plane and doing, it's that nonsense, right? You're driving through it. Oh yeah, there's weather. There's like literally like dust storm, like sandstorms on the map. And you do stuff like that. But then the normal racing, it's like they've got off-road, you've got street racing, you've got, rally kind of stuff. The whole conceit is like, yeah, people love cars and we're having fun with cars and we're just going to do like whatever. And then you go through the game, you beat the races, you upgrade, get more stuff, and buy a bunch of cars. So that's what it is. And then there's a lot of community created stuff where it's just like people just make playlists. It's like, yo, here's all the best rally races, and you just do that if you want. Like I just bought the Warthog from Halo.
Oh,
and I'm using that for off-road racing because it's really good at off-road because it's a fucking Warthog. And then there's the one I did recently. Apparently there's a way to cheat the game and get unlimited XP and money, but it's called the Goliath, and it literally starts at the north east side of the map and goes all the way to the southwest, and it's literally like a 17-minute race.
Damn.
And it's really good. So that one is with sports cars specifically. So it's like, oh yeah, let me drive for 17 minutes going 170 to 200 miles per hour the entire time. It is great. So yeah, it's very fun. It is very good. I'm not a super, super deep car head person. Like I'm not changing up the fucking transmissions and all that bullshit. But I think it is very fun and it's very good. And again, not having to pay for it is just fucking wild.
Yeah.
Let's just play it, have it. It's great. So,
I'm excited to get Game Pass again. I can't wait. I'm going to try that out. Obviously, Halo, all that fun stuff.
Yeah. And the other funny thing is that this game, the story has lore that. So I don't know how far back it goes, but in Forza 4, that's one where you're in Britain and whatever. You did the festival in Britain. And that's one where like you raced the train. Remember the train from Harry Potter? Like they always went over that fucking that tall bridge, like every movie.
Yep.
Apparently it's just a real bridge in fucking Britain somewhere, and you get to like race that train, which is a really cool one. But your character from that game, so whenever you start the game, you make your character, and they have two voices. It's masculine and feminine, right? But they have British accents. It's like, what's going on? And then I started doing a mission, and it's like, oh, you're that driver from that I met in the last game. Like there's literally a dude you meet from the last game. It's like, I remember you. Why is there lore to a racing game? It doesn't make any sense. It's wild, but it's very good. I would say if you have Game Pass, check it out. It's very pretty.
Any romance
Especially
options?
Especially it's a nice PC. I think you got good buddy options, best friend options. I don't know about romance though.
Well, best friends can be romantic together.
In a certain way, yes. Romance doesn't have to be sexual.
Well, best friends can be sexual together.
They can do whatever they want. They're adults. If you're consenting adults, you want. So yeah, Forza's great. If you have a PC or Xbox, I mean, you should be playing it, of course.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's really nice to have a really fun game to just play for free. So.
Do you just have like?
All right.
Did you just have like years of gold that you switched over to Game Pass, or do you like re-up your monthly subscription? How do you pay for Game Pass?
I do.
You do the yearly thing?
No, I do a monthly thing.
Okay.
Except for when there's like say Black Friday, I'll probably get like 6 or 7 months worth.
That's right,
and then I'll let that
them,
run
right?
out. Yeah, you can stack them, and then it runs out, and then I go, oh, I've been earning Microsoft Rewards points because I do all my quests every month, every week, every day.
That's right. There's Game Pass.
And I just get Game Pass for free because I have quest points, and it just gets. If you do all your quests every month, you basically just get it for free.
Damn.
So I haven't really had to pay for Game Pass in about a year and a half.
All right.
Or I probably spent like $20 in the last year and a half between Black Friday sales and using my rewards points. Yeah, that's great.
Nice.
Awesome. All right. I wanted to put this at the beginning. We're going to move on to the quest log. I was like, why do I keep throwing this at the end? I don't want to disrespect the memory of this patron saint of a man. This is the Holden Memorial segment. Metroid Dread is doing Game Busters. That's from James Carr at GameSpot.
Rest in peace, Holden.
Nintendo Switch. Yeah, rest in peace. I'm sorry. I made to put you in the ground. The Nintendo Switch was the best-selling console in the U.S. in October, and Nintendo has officially revealed how many consoles it sold during this month. According to the NPD Group, the Nintendo Switch continues to lead and the number of consoles sold in the U.S. in 2021.
That's like
quote from Doug Butt.
34 out of the last 35 months. The Switch has been the best-selling console.
There's like 1 month they didn't do it.
It was like 2 months ago or last month or something like that. PlayStation beat them once. Yeah. That's wild.
Yeah. They get beat in dollar sales just because the other consoles are more expensive. Right. So, but in number sales, they've, like you said, it's been like fucking 3 years or something. This is a quote from Doug Bowser. And this is, by the way, this you just have to do with Metroid Dread and the Switch as a whole. So a quote from Doug Bowser. Metroid Dread was launched on the same day as Nintendo Switch OLED, or SWOLED, as everyone calls it. Metroid Dread said sold 854,000 units in the U.S. So almost 1 million units in the U.S. That makes it the best start for any Metroid game ever, Bowser said. For reference, Metroid Dread was number 3 best-selling game of the month, only counting its digital sales. So Metroid Dread, even without physical sales, did very, very, very well. And this is another little piece of information. In doing that, it achieved the highest ever launch month sales of any Metroid game to date, dwarfing its predecessor by some margin. According to MPD, Metroid Dread's launch month dollar sales nearly doubled those of the series' previous record holder, Metroid Prime. So, best-selling Metroid game ever, and doubled the last one that was the best-selling ever. So, Metroid is doing pretty well.
All right. For like the first time in a very long time, Metroid's making money. And it like has a legit business sense for existing rather than just fan service. That's so exciting.
This is the thing now, right? Because they said, like, this is the end of this trilogy or this story of whatever. Again, I know what happens at the end of the game. I'm not going to spoil it for anybody here. But they're like, this is the end of it. But it's because, again, Metroid has really never been a seller. Again, like you said, people like the series, but it never sells. That's like me and Splinter Cell. I think like the first one sold well, and after that, they're just like, they do okay. But the people who love Splinter Cell. So now Nintendo's like, oh shit, it sold well. So
we can't stop now.
We were just expecting, we were just giving it to them so they'd shut up and we were going to end it. But they came out and bought it. So do we continue? I feel like they have to do something, but I don't know. You played the game, I didn't. So
yeah, we have a whole like hour and a half review discussion for Metroid Dread, if you're curious, with Trevor and Holden. Rest in peace, Holden. Yeah, this is like it's the end of that story, and all of these stories kind of build on each other. The 2D Metroid story, at least. But I feel like for now, they're just gonna continue to build off of that momentum with the Prime series. Like we know we're going to get the trilogy because apparently, according to so many sources, like it's done and it's been waiting for years to release. They just got to time it well. We know we're going to get that Prime trilogy. We know we're getting Metroid Prime 4. And then I feel like a few years from now, they'll be like, all right, let's go back and remaster the first couple Metroids in the new Metroid Dread style on Nintendo Switch. And then like, okay, cool. That's how they're continuing to like bleed us dry for these Metroid games. Just put them all in that style.
You can finally play Fusion easier.
Yeah, right. Exactly. You don't have to play Fusion with a freaking emulator. Yeah, I feel like that's what they're going to do for a while because Metroid Dread took, what was it? Something like 16 years or something like that to come out.
Yeah, between. Yeah.
Yep.
But now that it's done well.
Yep.
That is interesting. If we get a Prime trilogy, which makes sense, but that's just a remaster selling the same things over and over again.
Right.
Oh shit, here we go again. If 4 sells well, they're like, oh shit, we've really got something on our hands. I'm with you. I don't know if they would get another 2D Metroid out, maybe by the end of the Switch's life cycle. Because like I think like 4 is probably still a couple years away at this point. Yeah. But Switch 2, Electric Boogaloo, would probably launch with a Metroid game at that point. They're like, you know what? This apparently is a thing. People really care. Like if both of those games sell, whether like, well, these people really care. They're not just talking out of their ass. And then you'd probably get one at launch and probably be a 2D one because I guess that's the one they'd have the lead on development on. So yeah, keep buying things that you want to continue to happen, people.
Yeah. Freaking love it.
And take some of those extra pennies and put them on Holden's grave so he can get it past the river Styx.
Go put a couple quarters on his eyes.
Handhelds are getting delayed, everybody. Yeah, right. Quarters?
Yeah. The quarters on his eyes, except for instead, like, you're really bougie, put Sacagawea coins on his eyes so that whenever he goes to...
Big baller.
Yeah. When he's on the river Styx, he can get through.
It's like, these are golden. Handhelds, they're getting the big delay. This is from multiple stories at IGN. It's tough. So I'm going to read through this. There are 2 handhelds that got delayed. 2 handhelds, Adam.
What?
I only remember one of them.
Huh?
Yeah, you didn't remember the other one unless you were a nerd who really wanted it, but those nerds are pretty cool. So, the play date, the handheld crank-based gaming device, has been delayed from late 2021 to early 2022. That is the handheld device that you could crank, and like all the games were like on season pass, and it actually seemed like a pretty cool idea. In an email sent on last Thursday, Playdate creator Panic explained that the decision to delay the handheld device due to issues with the battery life in the first 5,000 units the company received from Malaysia. Panic added the factory production will ramp up to full speed again in just a few weeks, but that logistics require late 2021 pre-orders are now aiming for early 2022. So they got them. They're like, oh, batteries are fucked up. And also there's still a chip shortage. You can't literally make any, electronic devices in general. Speaking of not making electronic devices, Valve has announced the Steam Deck, its portable computer gaming handheld, will be delayed by 2 months. The first units will now begin shipping in February 2022 instead of the planned December 2021 release date. Quote from Valve, "We're sorry about this. We did our best to work around the global supply chain issues, but due to material shortages, components aren't reaching our manufacturing facilities in time for us to meet our initial launch dates. Based on our updated build estimates, Steam Deck will start shipping to customers in February 2022. This will be the new start date of the reservation queue." So, Valve got to push them back. Playdate's pushing them back. Even in the last story I didn't include it, Nintendo's like, we're doing good on selling our OLEDs and our Switches, but we actually don't have enough that we wanted to be able to put in production.
Yeah.
Nobody can make anything. Where are the chips?
Where are the chips? Not just the potato kind. Yeah, it's wild. While you were talking about handhelds here, I started thinking like, oh man, what about those analog pockets? Like ones that can play Game Boy cartridges and stuff like that. Because I want one of those. I'm like, when do pre-orders go live again? And I just looked that one up. And although pre-orders were last year and they were supposed to ship in October, they now got delayed until December of this year. So they're also delayed. And then I was thinking, as far as like the chip shortages go too, just like a fun thing that I learned recently, Tesla cars are shipping without chargers in them. Not like to charge your car, but like to charge your phone, like USB ports.
Oh, okay.
But they have like the cutouts for the USB ports, but they don't have any like actual charging stuff behind it. So you can't actually plug anything in. And just because of the chip shortage, like they cannot get USB ports to put in the car. So they're just delivering cars without ports on them. And they're like, as soon as we get them, just bring it back in. We'll plug it in. I promise.
Yeah, we'll throw it in there, buddy.
It's fucking wild.
God.
When will it end?
Apparently not into next year at the best is what every company's been saying. Microsoft's like, we're hoping next year. PlayStation's like, we plan on continue to make more, but we hope it gets better next year. It's like, oh fuck. It's not good.
Do you think that like I feel like the longest life cycle we've had for a console is probably like 10 years? Was it 10 between the
I feel like the 360 PS3 was like 9 or 10. Like it was up there, right?
Like it lasted a while. And they were still supported. Like they continued making them even after the PS4 and the Xbox One came out. So I feel like this chip shortage and the fact that nobody's going to be able to get their hands on it even for a couple of years even. I feel like that's going to extend this life cycle quite a bit. More than the typical 6 or 7 years.
The fact that we have these consoles is kind of a miracle, to be honest with you. And just that the play date, which was like I said, a cool idea. Its number, I think its reservation numbers were like decent, nothing like insane. Like they're not trying to sell 10 million units or whatever. Yeah. And they're just like, sorry guys, stuff's messed up. There's nothing we can do. And then Steam's like, yo, same thing. These were literally released. These reports were basically released on the same day. They were just like, yo, I'm sorry that we don't have enough crisps. There's nothing we can do. No Pringles in the can. So this will continue. But hey, if you get something, hold on to it. Never sell it.
Yep.
Speaking of consoles that there are a shortage of, but you should try to get if you got one, Forza 5 has a historic launch. This is from George Yang at GameSpot. By the way, keep that name in mind. George Yang from GameSpot.
All right, George Yang. I said it 3 times now. I'll never forget it.
Yep. Forza Horizon 5 is one of the biggest releases of the year for Xbox Game Studios. It looks like many players are enjoying the game as it hit 6 million players already, and it's still in the game's launch week. At the time of recording, the game has been out for 5 days, or math. By the time you hear this on podcast, it'll have been literally a week, and they already hit 6 million players in basically the and that's just
holy shit.
That doesn't include like the pre. That's not the pre because you can get it early if like the Ultimate Edition upgrade or whatever.
Yeah.
That's just normal launch. Xbox Games Marketing GM Aaron Greenberg also says the game set the record for Xbox Game Studios' best launch week ever. And Forza Horizon 5 also became the largest launch day for an Xbox Game Studio title. What they took over was not named. Hit a peak concurrent player figure that was 3 times bigger than Forza Horizon 4's peak concurrent record. So this game is 3 times bigger than the last game already.
Holy
and
shit.
It is literally the best launch day for an Xbox game ever.
Holy shit.
So
there are so many people
like
into racing
Forza
games
5.
that I didn't know.
Yes.
I'm trying to think of like what
times.
other launch, like Xbox Game Studios titles have launched that might be big or might rival this. I'm thinking like Gears 5. What else?
Are you talking about things that have already come out?
Yeah, like things that this might have like taken the mantle from to become the largest launch.
Yeah,
day
because I
Xbox
remember when
Game
the
Studios
Xbox
title.
Game Studio thing was, because I remember like Halo 2 and Halo 3 being fucking massive, but I don't think it was called Xbox Game Studio back
No,
then. So maybe that's how they get around it being a thing. But I'm telling you, man, people love this game, and Game Pass really helps those numbers when
Yeah, it
everyone can
does.
just. They're finally like, hey, give us $10 a month because. But we still make money, and then we have people who are into the games and are enjoying the consoles and evangelize it to their friends. So good for them. Look at this. Gaming's doing good everywhere. Don't you love to see it?
Yay,
Speaking
games.
of Xbox, we got a little more X. 2 leaked games from Xbox. 2 exclusive leaks from Xbox. This is from George. Exclusive world premiere.
World premiere.
This is from George Yang at IGN. George Yang is a freelance writer, so you can write on multiple.
I was very
things.
confused.
I just thought it was cool. Because I try to use multiple sites to do the news, and I'm like, yo, George is getting around. Like, get on, George, get your money, live your life. All right. Details have seemingly been leaked about 2 new exclusive Xbox games from Compulsion Games, the makers of We Happy Few, and Obsidian Entertainment, the guys who make every RPG that's great, Outer Worlds being their last big one. The former of which is described as a single-player Southern Gothic adventure. And I would suggest people look this up because there are some like basic concept art to go along with.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is Southern Gothic like the old people holding the farm tools with a like bored look on their face? That's called American Gothic. That's the name of that painting, not Southern Gothic. Okay, now I have to look it up and
just
see.
like Ethel and Ben or whatever with their
just holding
tools.
a pitchfork
Yeah.
at their farmhouse.
According to Windows Central, Compulsion's first game with Microsoft is codenamed Midnight. It is reportedly a third-person game set in a dark and fantastical world. The protagonist is a dark-skinned woman with braided hair. This is the Southern Gothic adventure, so it seems like Southern America Gothic. So it's like, oh, black people in the
Gotcha.
South dealing with fucking monsters. So Lovecraft Country sort of
Not to be
vibe.
confused
Not
with
in that
South
time period.
America, but Southern United States of America.
Southern United States. Yes. Midnight apparently draws its inspiration from America's Deep South and is a coming-of-age story. It is also solely single-player game. It apparently won't be ready for an official reveal and launch until the next few years, early in development. Last month, We Happy Few developer mentioned that it was working on a new third-person story-driven title, and Midnight seems to fit the bill. Yeah, I remember them saying, like, hey, we're working on a new thing, and then this leak was like, yo, this is what they're doing.
Yeah.
And it's like, yo, everything matches.
I'm into that. And yeah, the concept art looks
then-
really cool. Like this
Yeah.
woman with the like giant freaking bird wings.
Yeah, it's like a lady with like powers or something. It looks crazy. And the second game comes from Obsidian, codenamed, is it Pentiment? Is that the word?
Sounds like you're pronouncing it right. Still have no idea what it means though.
No idea. Yep. A 12-person team is developing the game and is led by Josh Sawyer, who previously worked on Fallout New Vegas and Pillars of Eternity. Jeff Grubb said that Pentiment draws inspiration from games like Disco Elysium and will be a narrative RPG rather than a combat-focused one. The game is reportedly a murder mystery set in the 16th century in which players will be able to investigate and accuse other characters in the game. However, these accusations have consequences. If you're wrong, snowball effect, bad things happen. So, 2 games early in development from all those Xbox acquisitions starting to pay off. I want to talk about the Midnight one first, and then we'll get to Obsidian. But yeah, you looked at those screenshots.
Yeah.
I liked We Happy Few. I think people expected to be BioShock, and they're like, well, no, we're making a survival game. But I still enjoyed the game regardless. People complained because they didn't think what it was. But I liked the game.
I didn't play it, but I did. I did want it to succeed because it looked like BioShock for sure.
Yes, it has elements of like that atmosphere, but it's not a single player like focused narrative game.
Yeah.
But this one, they're like, yo, we're gonna do that. And you've seen the screenshots. This game sound interesting to you, or?
Yeah, I mean, critically, We Happy Few didn't review as well as I hoped, so I never actually picked it up and played it. So I don't have my own opinions around what compulsion games can do. But the concept of this game sounds really cool. I'm into like third-person story-driven things. Those are all of my favorite games, are third-person story-driven things. So, yeah. With that very little information, I'm very into it. Not American Gothic, not South American, Southern American Gothic adventure.
Southern North American.
Southern North American lower South part.
Let's just say sweet tea country.
Sweet tea. Old South. Bojangles.
Yeah. I do, Papa John's. Yeah, I do love the idea of this game. I like the team. I did like their game. So I like the setting. Again, we'll see. It's very early, but the concept art looks cool, and the idea of the game is cool to me. So we'll see. Next, Obsidian. Let me tell you, I love Obsidian. Obsidian, even before the acquisition, I'm like, y'all just put out bangers. I love, what is that? The game. I was gonna say I'm looking at We Happy Few, so it's going through my head. What is the one that Outer Worlds? Outer Worlds is great.
Outer Worlds. Sorry, yes.
Worlds. The trailer for Outer Worlds 2 is fantastic. And Obsidian just is like, they've done this. So Grounded was a similar thing where they're like, oh, Obsidian's making Grounded. It's like, what? How are you doing that? They're like, oh, it's just like 10 people just wanted to make Honey, I Shrunk the Kids survival game. It's like, cool. And then this, they're like, hey, 12 people. Again, especially led by the dude who worked on Fallout New Vegas, fucking best Fallout game. And he's like, yo, we just want to make Disco Elysium, because Disco Elysium is, it's awesome game. The game got 10 out of 10s all over the place, and then we're like, hey, we like that idea, we're gonna do our own murder mystery. Take your 12 people and make a dope game. I love Obsidian. They just do it. They just like, we're just gonna do a bunch of stuff that we think sounds cool. So I'm all for this, because Obsidian put out bangers to me. So does this one interest you? Also, you should play Disco Elysium.
Two things. One, the codename Pentiment, I could find on oxfordreference.com is the only place I could find Pentiment. And it's in reference to another word, pentimento, which is visible evidence of an alteration to a painting or drawing that suggests a change. So that's a fun thing. But I'm looking back at all of Obsidian's games, because you named all of these ones, and I'm just like, I honestly don't think I've played any of Obsidian games. And looking back...
Never played Fallout New Vegas?
Never played Fallout New Vegas. I played Fallout 3, and I was like, this is a very brown game that I'm not interested in.
That one's very brown, yeah.
I'm generally, in general... first-person RPGs that include like 4 dialogue prompts at a time, and you read through all of them, and you waste 75% of your time because you don't end up using 3 out of the 4, and then you're just like, I wish I could have only read the one I wanted. Which is why I like Mass Effect, because it's like a few words for each one. Like you can quickly choose the gist of what you can say. Anyway, those generally are not usually my jam. But looking back at their games, they made Neverwinter Nights 2, which I played and enjoyed as a kid. South Park Stick of Truth, which was a fucking banger.
That's right, they did do Stick of Truth.
Yep.
They've done a lot.
And they released Avowed, which I never played, but it looked like it was kind of like Dark Souls almost type thing with a really cool art style. But I wanted to.
Avowed is the one that they're making now, which is supposed to be their version of Skyrim.
What am I thinking of?
Is that what people are saying?
Oh, I'm thinking of Ashen. Just kidding. Forget everything I just said.
Ashen.
Yep.
Gotcha. That's somebody else, though, right? Yeah.
Yeah. I guess I don't have a ton of experience with Obsidian other than like South Park and playing Neverwinter Nights 2, but
I mean, they make RPGs. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
They love to make RPGs. That's their thing. So,
I will watch some trailers and hear how people talk about it from afar, and if people are really fucking into it, and it doesn't sound like it's going to be a lot of reading a lot of extraneous dialogue that I don't end up saying, then I'll probably try it out. And it'll be on Game Pass, so I'll probably have Game Pass. No excuse not to try it.
Exactly. I just like that we're getting new games from studios that I like.
Yeah.
And people, especially when they're just like, yo, do the thing that you want to do. Let's go for it. Awesome. Dope.
Speaking of Xbox games, sorry, before we
go ahead.
get to the... Speaking of Xbox stuff, have you heard all the Like, everyone seems really confident that Halo multiplayer is launching tomorrow. Have you seen all of this stuff?
Yeah, that's why I didn't mention it, because when the podcast comes out, it'll be either nothing happened or it happened.
Yeah.
Shut up.
I was just
So,
looking
but
at
yes,
like
I
an
have
hour
heard that
ago. I saw like
Halo's
Jeff
supposed
Grubb
to
is
come
just
out
like,
tomorrow.
Halo multiplayer is supposed to come out tomorrow. It's fucking wild.
So
Shadow drop.
people will know when they hear the podcast, or if they're watching live, like, yeah, apparently on Monday, because it's 20th anniversary of Xbox.
Right. They've got their
And
little
apparently Halo
like,
multiplayer
stream.
is supposed to drop early.
They said they're not going to have any kind of like game announcements on that day. It's just going to be a celebration type thing. But I feel like this would be a game announcement type thing.
It's not a new game announcement technically, because we already know about Halo.
You're right. It's just a shadow drop if it happens. But man, people are very confident, at least from what I was reading on Twitter.
Yeah,
Dang.
which will be cool.
All right.
I know what I'm doing on Monday night. All right. But going on about, actually, this would probably be a good announcement there. But Game Awards are going to be good. It's from Eddie McCooch at GameSpot.
Eddie McCooch.
Organizer and Muppets Haunted Mansion actor Jeff Keighley says in a new interview published on the Epic Game website, the 40 to 50 games will be available at the event in some way or another. The number of new game announcements, meanwhile, will be in the double digits. So 10 to 99. Somewhere in there. Actor Jeff Keighley gave no indication or tease about the specific games to be shown, but he said many of them will be titles releasing in 2022 and 2023. He added that some of the games will appear at the Game Awards, will provide a better look at what the PS5 and Xbox Series X/S consoles are capable of. I still feel like we've only kind of sort of what? Jesus, Keighley, relax. I know you're famous now. I still feel like we've only kind of sort of touched the surface of what's possible on the PS5 and Xbox Series X. So I think you'll see some of the stuff in the show that is truly pretty stunning, he said. We'll see footage of games that will remind people that the best of this industry is still to come. So he's very excited for the future. He's like, yo, we're through year 1, but we got better stuff for year 2, year 3. Watch Muppets Haunted Mansion on Disney Plus right now.
I can't wait. This is, I mean, we had opening night live. We had whatever happened this summer. But this feels like it's going to be a thing. Like this is going to be, it's ramping up. The Twitter is starting to go crazy with predictions and all this kind of stuff. And I hope that we get some big shit. Like I hope, spoilers for the next one, I hope we get another look at Harry Potter, Hogwarts Legacy. I hope we get, Matt and I are talking about BioShock a lot recently. I hope we get to see that BioShock 4 that they announced earlier this year, or at least like a little tease of even just like, something. Are we returning to Rapture? Is it going to be in the sky in the Columbia? Is it going to be in the center of the earth and the molten core? Whatever it is. I don't care. I just want to see the words BioShock and whatever the subtitle is on the screen at the same time. So much good shit. And
next gen. That's my
next gen. That's what I'm super fucking stoked for, is what can next gen actually do? Because we're past the 1 year mark now, foreshadowing our Adam segment later. We're past the 1 year mark. We are starting to hear about games. You know, Microsoft said at least for a year or two, they're not going to make next gen exclusive stuff from Xbox. And now we're starting to get like, well, now's the time where we get to start hearing about those kinds of things. So I'm just fucking stoked to see how good, especially coming right off of Vanguard and how fucking great that game looked and sounded and played. Like, I'm excited for whatever's going to happen in less than a month. It is December.
And I'm
9th.
not one of these people. December 9th. I'm not one of these people, but a lot of people, because Vanguard, as awesome as it is on PS5 with all that stuff that you were explaining earlier, people were like, well, they had to make a PS4 version, so that held it back. I don't necessarily agree with that always. I'm like, I don't make video games, so I just don't assume that, well, the fact that there's something old means that the new version had to suck. I'm like, I don't know about that. But think about it. We're going to get announcements for games that are only going to be on the new thing. So that argument will be thrown out the window. It's like, oh, no, we only focused on this. Which, again, if it looks pretty and sounds good and it's got reflections.
Yeah. And like to that argument, not only was Vanguard a cross-gen thing, but it was also a multi-platform thing. And I'm sure we're going to hear a lot of exclusive things like to Series X or to PS5 that like they can take even more without having to develop for multiple different platforms and take advantage of that. They can really focus in on getting the best experience from one of those two, which would be great.
I mean, because, you look at Last of Us 2, because they only made it on PS4. The game looks great. The game that looks like probably the best you can get out of that console.
Yeah.
But it's like, yeah, we only had to make it for this console. Of course, we were able to do that. Forza, I mean, they make it for PC. I mean, I could probably just downscale it, but Forza looks fantastic on next gen and on PC. It's like, yeah, we're just making it for Xbox and PC. Whatever. I don't necessarily think the game would look worse because car games, they look good, but it's awesome whenever people get to like, we're making a game for this, so we're going to maximize this.
Yeah.
And make it look good. So I'm ready for whatever Mr. Keighley shows us. Do you want to do a bet with me right now? A dumb bet?
If the bet is around whether or not he comes out on stage in full Haunted Mansion makeup, then no, I'm not going to take that bet because it's a guarantee.
My thing is, because this is funny, I'm thinking about it now. Remember, it might have been 2, maybe 3 years ago when they did the fake trailer for Goose Game or whatever.
Oh,
when
yeah.
it was Beaker was in there.
Uh-huh.
Because apparently Jeff Keighley is just a Muppet stan. Would you really willing to bet me of that a Muppets something shows up, even if it's a joke, even if it's a silly thing? What do you think the chances of a Muppet thing showing up at Game Awards are?
It's 100% chances of it being there, and I wouldn't be surprised if they're remastering Muppets Christmas Carol, but replacing Michael Caine's face digitally with Jeff Keighley instead.
Jeff Keighley
keeping
is
Michael Caine's
Caine.
voice, but just putting Jeff Keighley's face, deep faking his face onto it.
Oh, I like that. Well, I can't make a bet with you because I agree the Muppets are going to be there. So I guess we'll move on. Hogwarts Legacy.
Oh, yeah.
Looks to release after a bad Potterverse movie.
Oh,
this
yeah.
That's my headline. That's from Adele Anchors at IGN. Hogwarts Legacy is seemingly slated to launch after the theatrical release of Fantastic Beast: The Secrets of Dumbledore in 2022. General Manager Rachel Wakely hinted that the release window for Hogwarts Legacy, the highly anticipated open-world action RPG set in the world of Harry Potter, would come after the next Fantastic Beasts movie, though she didn't specify any exact release date. Quote from her now: "The second major release of 2022 will be for a new console game, Hogwarts Legacy," Wakely told. I think it was told the publication. It was like a toy magazine. I didn't quote them here. I accidentally cut them out. It was some kind of toy magazine. The reaction to the trailer has been amazing, and it looks set to be a huge success. We know that gaming is such an important part of the market and one that we had to be involved in. From what we've seen, the launch will be well worth the wait, and we'll deliver a unique way for fans to interact with the franchise. So she's like, yo, movie release, throw out the game, we'll double up on the money. So this is good because I know you're excited for this game. I'm excited for this game. And 2022 seems, I know it got delayed earlier this year or this summer or whatever, but I really hope it comes out at sometime in 2022 because I'm very ready to play in the Hogwarts.
Me too. I'm ready to do some spells, make some posh. That's how the kids say potions. Make some posh. Hey, you want to go up in the girls' bathroom and make posh? Fuck yeah, I do.
Moaning Myrtle's gonna be there.
Yeah, Myrtle's gonna be like, that's part of the posh. You got to get Myrtle tears in there.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm excited for two things. One, this movie's gonna be awful, but I'm gonna see it and I'm gonna hate the whole thing. And then two, this will be this will be my rebound, my thing that makes me, when I decide I'm not gonna see the final 2 of the 5 series of movies of Fantastic Beasts, this will be the thing that I go and bang and have a great time with, and I'm very excited for that. Something to pick up my spirits after a terrible Fantastic Beasts movie.
Oh yeah, I'm with you. That movie's gonna be awful, but if we get a good game afterwards,
exactly.
I'll be fine.
Yep.
It's like they punched you in the testicles, but then they gave you some ice cream. It's like, you know what? I appreciate the ice cream.
What? I do like ice cream.
So this would also be another trailer at Game Awards. I'm with you. That would be really neat to see. But what if it was like the Fast and the Furious, the year that they were there, where I like Jude Law as an actor, so I'm not gonna be mad at him, but Jude Law comes out and he's like, hey, I'm in Fantastic Beasts. Watch this 30 minute. Yeah, sure. Watch this 30-minute trailer and then we'll show you Hogwarts Legacy. It's like, all right, Jude Law, I'm not mad at you, but get it over with so I can watch what I actually want to see.
It kind of could be that, honestly, which sucks because the game takes place in like the 1800s, I think.
Yeah, it's in the past.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know it's in the past. I think it's like way in the past. Okay. So past enough because the movies take place, I think, in the 40s or the 50s of 1900s. Okay. Part of me was concerned that like, oh shit, are they going to force us to fucking see Newt Scamander and Jude Law's Dumbledore and all this shit in there? Like, are they going to really heavily tie that in? But if it's in the 1800s, they can't.
Yeah, I hope not. Well, I don't even want to think about them trying to force a Fantastic Beasts crossover.
Oh, get out of here.
Like, pretend that you didn't say that. New details. Oh, speaking of gross, new details on Quantic Dream's Star Wars game. This is from Demi Williams at GameSpot. One of those things was gross. The other one is really good. You be the judge. New reports suggest that Quantic Dream's rumored Star Wars game is called Star Wars Eclipse and will be set during the era of the High Republic, which is the new timeline and all the books and all the stuff that they've been pushing lately in literature and such. According to Jeff Grubb, Star Wars Eclipse will be the title of Quantic Dream's unannounced project. During his latest Giant Bombcast podcast, Grubb claimed that the game is likely going to show up somewhere soon, possibly the Game Awards. Grubb went on to explain that Star Wars Eclipse is ready to be announced soon, and fans can expect an official announcement before the end of the year. He also said that he isn't certain of the details, but he does believe that it is set during the High Republic era, again, reiterating the report earlier. So, Jeff Grubb's like, yo, we got the Star Wars game from these racist dudes who make point-and-click adventure games, but be excited. I'm excited. Again, I love Star Wars. I haven't read any of the High Republic stuff, but it seems like an interesting kind of idea. Like I saw like a Wookiee with a lightsaber, which was a really cool thing. Quantic Dream, though, that's the only thing. Again, not the company, just the guy at the top. Really don't like that guy, but I'd be interested to see whatever Star Wars project. And now they're independent now, I believe, too. So it wouldn't necessarily have to be a PlayStation exclusive anymore.
Quantic Dream, I'm always like really into their stuff. I still think like one of the most underrated, underplayed games of the entire PS4 generation was now I can't even remember the name of it. Yeah, Detroit Become Human. I think so many people should have played that game and they didn't. And you know, Beyond Two Souls, for what it was like also really cool at the time, and Heavy Rain, despite its technical limitations, was like a really interesting concept. Like, I'm always interested in Quantic Dream shit, and it's really kind of cool. So to give them the Star Wars license to me is just like, yeah, I'm fucking super into whatever they're able to pull out of that, and narratively speaking, and branching paths. That's another cool thing. Like, if we get some kind of, you know, Quantic Dream style choose your own adventure, so many different things happening, like how do they also play with canon and Star Wars, and what at the end of this is going to continue to be canon. Obviously we don't know anything about the game, so we don't know if that's actually
that's mechanic. That's why it'd be great if it was during the High Republic, because that's brand new. Like, that has nothing to do with Skywalker. That is like it's a brand new era of the timeline, so they can do a lot because technically it's all pretty new. So they could kind of go buck wild and have, you know, multiple endings, and just, you know, they'll just choose one that's canon, or maybe they're both canon, or whatever. They can have, it seems to be like you can play around with it more compared to being like, well, it's set between episode 4 and 5, so you know the characters and you know what's going on and you can't do anything else. Yeah. And it's got to lead to the same point. This one is like, it's new, but do whatever you want. So that is interesting.
Yeah. I also, while you were reading this, I was reminded, I was like, when's the last time we saw a Star Wars game get revealed? And there was Squadrons, but before that was Jedi Fallen Order, and it was at E3. And Andrea Renee just like walks into the audience and is like, all right, everyone, so here to tell us about more of the next Star Wars game. She sits down with like the creative director, whoever it was. And the guy's just like sitting there in the audience, just sitting in his chair like, yeah, we got a new game. It's called Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. And it was just like the most fucking awkward game reveal in the entire planet.
It was so weird.
So hopefully this will be a little bit better than that. If it is a Game Awards, it is in person. So we have another opportunity where G. Keeley, I forgot he spells Jeff differently. G. Keeley can just go out in the audience and pick a random person and say, we're going to reveal your game right now. We didn't tell you ahead of time, but we're going to reveal your game right now. Tell us 3 things about it.
It's like, I would love if they hired Andrea Renee just for that part of the show. She gets to come back and redeem herself.
She just busts the doors open from the back of the theater, like in a cathedral, like stopping a wedding or something. Like, stop! I want to pick someone from the audience to reveal a game.
Yeah. That'd be awesome. So we'll see soon. Again, Game Awards rumors like this are like, oh yeah, Game Awards should be a good time.
Yeah.
We got to figure out, are we watching that?
Fuck yeah. I mean, I've got it on the schedule.
Do you watch Game Awards?
Yeah, I watch Game Awards.
Okay.
Yeah, we can hop in a Discord chat together. Or
hell yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. So we're going to go on to the best segment of the week, every week. Segment from Adam.
Segment from Adam. It's Adam's segment. Look at Adam do his segment.
Oh, yeah. 1 year with Next Gen. Here we are. Big birthday boys blowing out the candles on their cakes.
Big, beautiful
Xbox
birthday
turned
boys.
1. and then PS5 turned one as well. So here we are. Where I'm gonna kind of talk about the last year and everything. There's good and there's bad. Bad mostly to do with the fact you can't get USB chargers in your car, but we can talk on everything. Both consoles, whatever you want to do. Thoughts on games, services, anything that was like, oh my god, that was crazy. I love that. That's next gen things ahead you're interested in. Again, I saw this was interesting. Do you think supply restraints? It kind of like made this console generation blow up because when there's no supply, the demand is crazy. So if there was, 800 Xboxes and PS5s on every store shelf, like, do you think people would be as fervorous for this generation? I don't know. Just an interesting thing. And I just saw this. This was a really funny thing. I just want to point this out. The top 5 most played PS5 games of the last year. Number 1, Fortnite. Number 2, Call of Duty Black Ops. Number 3, FIFA. Number 4, NBA 2K21. Number 5, Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Number 6, Destiny 2. Number 7, MLB The Show. Number 8, Marvel Spider-Man Miles Morales. 9, Demon's Souls. And 10, NBA 2K22, which just came out. So we could probably talk about exclusives, but let me tell you, it always doesn't hurt my soul, but it's always funny. They're like, exclusives are so important. And it's just like, but what about that NBA and that FIFA and that Call of Duty and those other games that everyone just plays time and time and time and time again. So.
That's wild. I'll start by answering the question of like thoughts on games and did anything wow you? And I think the thing that I mention every time that I see it done well, or I feel it done well, to be more specific, it just like re-cements the fact that it was the right way to go, is haptics, man. They are such a game changer for video games. And I think of like Astro's Playroom, and then I didn't really feel it for a while, and then Returnal came, and Returnal was the first time that I felt like, oh shit, they got it right, and I'm excited for what people do. And then now having just played Vanguard with it too, and having really incredible adaptive triggers and haptics during that, I am just so excited to be immersed in yet another level with video games using haptics. And at the same time, I was thinking while playing through Vanguard too, is like, fuck, 3D audio. It's something that's, you have to wear headphones to get it, and it has to either be like the PlayStation headphones or plugged in via the headphone jack. So a lot of people aren't going to necessarily experience it, especially if you're using something like Astros or something like that are just Bluetooth or a different type of wireless, which sucks. But it's for such a small audience of people to get to experience 3D audio when done right is such a freaking cool thing. So those are the two things that I think have wowed me most about this generation, aside from a trillion other things, like having the super fast storage and all that kind of shit. But that's what stands out to me right now, a year later.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll kind of back you up on that. Is that the adaptive triggers, Santa Maria Jesus, are fine. I think like playing Deathloop, the adaptive triggers or whatever, I kind of just want to turn them off, except for when you shoot like the heavy machine gun. It's like, oh, I can feel like every bullet leaving the right trigger. That's cool. But everything else, I'm like, I just feel like this is going to wear my controller out quicker. Haptic feedback, aka HD Rumble, whatever you want to call it, that shit has always been awesome. I love that. Just like, again, playing Returnal and you feel the little raindrops.
Yeah.
That stuff is great. In Miles Morales, when he gets on the computer, again, another type, but like you feel him hitting every little keystroke.
Yeah.
That stuff is great. I love haptic feedback, HD Rumble, whatever that stuff is. Triggers, I could take or leave, but overall, like, yes, this controller is a vast improvement and very good. Also, having good audio is great as well. So I absolutely agree with you on those things. Games, let me think. I think that we've had some solid games for sure. I don't think that it's anything that has been mind-blowing, but it's also the first. I don't know. There are things that I've really, really enjoyed, but I don't know if there's anything that I'm like, this is truly next gen yet. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like if you take away that the triggers feel cool, would you say any game feels truly next gen yet?
I started to feel that way with Vanguard last night. I played it all in one sitting, and I was like so taken aback by it, at how good it was, that part of me playing Last of Us Part 2 today was to like go back and feel like prior to Vanguard, Last of Us Part 2 was the benchmark for me. Like, that was the most beautiful game I've ever played, had the most realistic facial animations, all of that shit. And so I wanted to go back and say, like, okay, how does Vanguard stack up to Last of Us Part 2, which was a PS4 game? And Vanguard, it's beautiful. It's freaking beautiful. And Last of Us Part 2, it doesn't really come close in a lot of aspects. There are some, obviously, some parts where it surpasses it. But yeah, I feel like Vanguard is the first time where I looked at it as like, this is the fidelity that it's able to pull off, the crazy things that it's doing, with that, the sampling and the streaming of the assets for high quality assets while you're playing it. Like, that kind of shit really feels next gen. And that's the first time that, aside from Returnal, that I felt like, fuck, this is exactly what next gen is going to become, or this is the start of whatever all of that is too. So I feel like we're starting to scratch the surface.
For me, yeah, I think we're starting to get there. I don't think there's anything that's like, this is impossible, because most of those games are on the last generation consoles. They're just not as good. My number one thing, again, I think there's a lot of great games. I'm not discounting the games. I think they're awesome, but there's nothing where I'm like, well, I mean, I'm happy that I have next gen consoles, but I'm like, I guarantee that this would have worked on like a 1X or PS4 Pro, and it would have been pretty good. The number one thing that none of those old consoles do that I love and I take for granted because I love it so much is these SSDs. Fucking thank God. I love just like, oh yeah, it works in 2 seconds. It's just everything works in 2 seconds. Like, please keep that up, everybody. Never change that ever. I don't care that memory cards are $200. It's worth it. It absolutely is worth it because it's so much faster. Keep that going forever. Services, I mean, you gotta say it. Game Pass is fucking great.
Yeah, Game Pass freaking wins, great. Man.
It's the best thing around.
Though nothing comes close to that new Nintendo Switch Online Plus expansion pack. Like that.
Oh my God, that's a tough one. They're not even included in this, but
yeah,
it's good. Okay. Yeah, Game Pass has been amazing, especially just Game Pass Ultimate. Like, we're getting in a month, you can just start streaming games on your console instead of just over the phone. It's just like they're great. And I don't give PS Now shit. I just don't use it because they never make it a big deal. I wish that they would maybe revamp it, rework it into PS Plus, and like make it a big deal, because I would love to be sold on that idea. They just don't push it and make me interested, because I like the idea of the service. They just don't do much with it. The other thing that I like is the addition of, again, so this kind of goes into 3D audio, but the addition of like Dolby stuff. Because like using Dolby Vision for gaming, oh boy, again, I will never, if I turn on a TV doesn't have Dolby Vision, I call that person a peasant. Because I need my HDR to be Dolby, you can fuck right off. And so having Dolby Vision and 3D audio and all of those things together, I'm like, man, that's what feels next gen, where everything loads in 2 seconds. Your controller feels super, super cool. It's in, Dolby version of HDR, and you get 3D audio. Like, that shit's wild. That shit feels new. The experience feels next gen. The games, I think, could be done on other things, but so that kind of goes into what wowed me. Yeah, like if you have thousands of dollars to waste on a setup, that shit's wild.
I love it, man. I was just reflecting, like I texted, I was reflecting back on the launch day of PS5, and I was like, oh man, today marks the 1 year anniversary. Happy anniversary of us all just getting together on Party Chat and geeking out over Astro's Playroom and Demon's Souls, and also realizing how broken Party Chat was on day one, because half of us couldn't hear the other half, and we were using the PlayStation headsets, and some of us were using the mic, and it was, a headache, but it was, what a day. What a fucking great day console launch days are, as long as they work.
Yeah, and it's the funny thing, looking at this list of most played games again, this is every list every year. You can be like, my exclusive's the best. It's like Madden and FIFA outsold that. It doesn't matter.
Madden, FIFA, Call of Duty, Fortnite, Assassin's Creed, like that, they're always going to win.
I will say, playing Assassin's Creed Valhalla on my Xbox day one was great. Oh man, I loved that game, and it was just like everything was loading quick, and it's like this big giant open world, there's snow, and then you're playing for 500 hours because it's an Assassin's Creed game. But that game, I was like, oh yeah, this is nice. I like that I have a next gen console for this. Interesting things ahead. I do love how both of these, so I was looking at a report earlier, I didn't put it down, but I think Sony has 52 like exclusives in the pipeline again. So some of that's like independent
25
third party games, or it's 25, that's what it was. I'm dyslexia. So not all of that is like Sony Santa Monica size games.
Right.
We have 25 games that are going to be exclusive to PlayStation. Xbox has all these games, and we just talked about leaks. They have all these studios. We have some dates for, tentative dates for next year or 2023. Just like we're about to start getting like, again, Insomniac's already put out like 7 games on the PS5.
Right.
So
how do they do it? They've put out 7 games and they told us they have 14 Marvel games in production right now as well. I was like, how do... Love it.
It's crazy, but I'm very excited for the future. There's so many games coming out soon that like E3 or State of Plays or whatever. I'm like, yo, I'm ready for this. I'm excited for I'm happy to have both these consoles because all of this looks cool. Yeah. I'm ready for Redfall, and then I'm ready for Wolverine, and I'm ready for Starfield, and then I'm ready for, a God of War Ragnarok, and just, oh God, man, I'm so excited.
Good time to be alive.
Absolutely. And then I guess I'll go to my last one unless you have something else. How do you feel the scarcity? Do you think that has affected people's opinions or fervor or anything? Because people like us, we're always going to be excited for new consoles, but people are mad about these because no one can get anything. So do you think it's people are like, oh, I'm so excited for next gen, I'm so excited for PS5, I'm so excited for Xbox, or is it just like, I want it because I can't get it? I don't know.
I don't think it puts a sour taste in the consumers' mouths. Like, they want it, yeah, absolutely, but it's not going to like affect. Obviously, it's not going to affect the sales because it can't affect the sales because they can't make enough of them right now. But I feel like the biggest thing that it is affecting is developers. Like when developers are thinking, all right, do we make this next gen exclusive, or people can't get it, and we can make a lot more money if we make it cross gen right now because there's not going to be a lot of supply out there for people to buy our games on a next gen exclusive thing. So I feel like that's where we're getting. If at anything at all, that's where we're getting held back. Like, not necessarily with the consumer, but with developers. I hate to say this, like dumbing down or watering down their product in order to make sure that they can make a viable product that will sell enough.
Yeah, because you have to think if they're like thinking ahead of time, like, all right, we can do a PS5 exclusive. It's like, all right, cool. They sell out immediately, but there's only, 14 million of them out there compared to if we made it on both, we'd have 14 million plus the 100 million for PS4.
Right.
So maybe that actually makes better sense.
Exactly. So like if we make it a little less good, then we can suddenly, by 10 times increase our possible revenue.
Because like, again, I'm very excited for Horizon, very excited for God of War Ragnarok. Those games are on PS4.
Yeah.
Again, I'm not a game developer. I'm not saying this is how it works, but it does feel like it can't be a fully next gen thing if it's also on the last gen. That's just how it feels. I don't know if there's truth to that, but
yeah. And they are trying to bang that drum, PlayStation and Guerrilla Games. They are trying to say, even though it's on both, here are the different ways that it's exclusive on PS5 and her facial textures and the density of the environments, all that shit. It's like, I don't know, man. I'm still not convinced. I'm sure as soon as I play it, I'll be like, oh my God, this is the most beautiful thing I've ever seen in my life. But for now, I'm just like, I don't know, man.
Because it does have to work on both. Yeah, like I'm sure that there's more computing power for lighting, and like, it's just like PC. Like you can play games on PC, and then it's like you got a good card, and when I just turn all the settings up, it's like but it also still works on that laptop that's 10 years old over there,
right?
Technically, so. I don't know. I think they both had a good first year. Honestly, I think they were both solid. Yeah, I think if you're a fan of either one, you've had a good time. There's been a lot of good games that are multi-platform. There's been good exclusives on both. I think it's been solid. Big thumbs up for me. I'm going to give them both each a big cupcake. You're not getting a baby cupcake. You guys are getting big boy cupcakes.
You know what I hope gets more use? I always forget it's there, but the few times that I do use it, the activity cards on PS5. I
don't think I've ever used a single one.
I used them a lot for like Astro. I used them like occasionally whenever I'm trophy hunting or things like that. I'll be like, hey, you're 65% of the way done with this level. Warp directly to this next place to get your next. I was like, oh yeah, fuck yeah, I'll do that. Or when I'm playing Destiny, it's just a tap of a button to get to the tower or to Europa. And it's like, I hope more developers take advantage of those cards, and then also let us know that they're there so that people actually explore it and use the feature. Because that's a cool thing. That'd be cool if I knew that. I
forgot they were a thing.
Yeah. I most of the time never remember they're there.
Also, quick resume. Let's keep that up because, boy, I love turning off my Xbox, unplugging it from the wall, moving it to my new house, and plugging it in. And it's like, oh, man, I'm still fucking fighting with Cartman against the fucking ninjas in fucking Fractured Butthole. This is great.
Yep. Well, Adam, thank you for that segment, because now that transitions us to Game On Game Show. The Game On Our Gaming Show, we play a game called Game On, the gaming show on our game show. Game. We've got a game we've played a few times on Respawn Aimfire. I don't think I've ever played this with you, however. We are going to play GameStop Blackjack. Are you familiar with GameStop Blackjack?
No, I'm not.
It is a game where we have 3 games that we get to choose that we're going to trade in at GameStop. And we have to get to as close to $21 worth of value without going over. So in celebration...
I'll bring my Xbox Series X.
in celebration of Xbox's 20th anniversary coming up this week, and they're doing their celebration thing tomorrow, we are going to do Xbox-only games. You are only allowed to choose games that came out on Xbox. Like, it can't be a PS4 exclusive. It can't be a PC only game. It has to have released on an Xbox console.
Okay.
So for those of you watching, I have our list. We're going to choose 3 games each, and depending on how long this takes, we might do like best out of 3 rounds. So we're going to do 3 games each. We'll name the games, and then we'll go and look up trade-in values and see who got closest to 21 without going over. So Adam, because I created the game and you are the visiting team on the game, you are going to go first. So
trying to get to 21 store credit?
Trying to get to $21 in store credit without going over. What 3 games that are available on Xbox family of consoles do you choose to trade in?
Forza Horizon 4.
Okay, Forza
Grand Theft Auto 5.
4. GTA 5.
And NBA 2K21.
NBA 2K21. Okay. I'm going to throw out... I have not looked up these values ahead of time. I promise I didn't cheat. You're going to have to take my word for it. I'm going to throw out their... The Walking Dead Telltale series. If that even still exists. Here's my strategy right now. I think you're going to go way over. I think you're going to bust that $21 cap, so I'm trying to stay low.
You think so?
I'm trying to stay low.
Hey, bro, give me literally 2 seconds, though, all right? You keep doing your thing. Give me 2 seconds.
Other Xbox related... Oh, yeah, we're going to do We Happy Few. We just talked about that today. It did not sell well. I'm sure that it doesn't have a ton of trade-in value. And then something else that came out on Xbox... we're going to do Gears 5. So the Walking Dead Telltale series, We Happy Few, and Gears 5 are my 3 picks. All right. While Adam's gone, I'm going to start looking up values. I'm going to start with mine, and then we'll reveal his as he goes. So we're going to look up Walking Dead Telltale and see what GameStop will offer us for that. Here we go. The Walking Dead, the Telltale Definitive Series, Xbox One, up to $7.70 in value. Shit, that's a lot more than I thought it was going to be. $7.70. All right, We Happy Few. Oh shit, I typed it in the wrong field. Such a piece of shit. Okay, We Happy Few. There we go. That's what I like to see. Xbox One copy of We Happy View gets you $2.20 at GameStop. And then finally, we will look up Gears 5 for Xbox One. Ooh, here we go. We're going to go ahead with the pro value. Like if you are a GameStop Pro rewards member, which will get you $3.30 trade-in value. All right, so Adam,
what happened?
So Adam, here's a couple of things that happened. I went ahead and listed out my games: Walking Dead, Telltale series, We Happy Few, and Gears 5. There's a hiccup that came up that I made an executive decision on. If they offer, cash value versus store credit, and then store credit versus if you're a pro member, we're going with whatever the highest value is. So
highest value. Okay.
Highest value for that game. Yep. So I went ahead and looked up my values while you were gone. The Walking Dead Telltale series was $7.70, which surprised the hell out of me.
Oh, but that's all the one box.
Right. Xbox One contains all 5 of the games plus the like expansion thing.
$7.
400 days. We Happy Few was $2.20 trade in, and Gears 5 was $3.30, bringing me to $13.20.
Okay.
So now we have to look up yours, and you have to go over 1320 but under 21 in order to win. So we're going to look up Forza Horizon 4.
4. Yep.
Ooh, shit. Forza Horizon 4 on Xbox One is $13.20.
I just need...
We immediately just
exactly,
tied.
huh?
It's exact. Yeah, we're immediately tied. You just can't go over now. All right, let's look up GTA 5.
That one's got to be like $4.
GTA 5. Okay. So here's the thing. I'll let you be involved in this decision. We decided if it's cash versus credit versus pro credit, we would go with the highest value. Grand Theft Auto 5 on Xbox One is $3.30. On Xbox 360 is $8.80. So if you have a 360 version of GTA 5, you get more than double the value for it.
Yeah, that's weird. I say just make it a rule now. We'll always go for whatever the most expensive version is. So if you have a game that was on both and it's more expensive than the other one, we'll always go with the most expensive one. Because we're going with the most expensive price anyway, so might as well always go there. Yeah. What does that put? That puts me over 21, though.
That puts you at $22. Let's just find out what NBA 2K21 is, just for fun. So yeah, you have gone over. NBA 2K21 is... Oh, not on Nintendo Switch. On Xbox One, it is $4.40.
See, so if I would have went with the Xbox One version of GTA, I would definitely have been fine. What? I might have been over a little bit. No,
was it $3.30?
Like, a little bit over 21.
Yeah, if you went with that version, it would have been $20.90. That would have been like almost perfect.
Oh boy! But
damn,
the most expensive version. I absolutely agree with that ruling.
Okay. Let's reset. Now that you kind of are exposed to it and kind of get an idea for GameStop trade-in values, let's do round 2.
Okay.
All right, I've cleared everything out. What do you got?
Does it have to be games?
I guess it could be a peripheral, like as long as it's something Xbox available or works with an Xbox console.
Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do an Xbox One wired controller. Just type in Xbox One generic wired controller, and then give me Madden 2015 and NBA 2K15. I'm hoping that controller is just enough, and then those two games are worth like $1.
NBA 2K15 and Madden 2015, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait a minute. Nope. Give me 20
2K
for both those games.
Okay. Got it.
Because 15, it might be that point where like, oh, this is 360 and it's rare.
Right. Yeah.
I don't want to chance that.
NBA
I want it to be a little bit old and not worth anything.
2K20. Okay. Let's see. I'm gonna see if they still take this. But a Microsoft Connect.
Okay. Oh, you're gonna take a Connect?
It's gonna be the Xbox One Connect.
Yeah. If they do, I got one in a box. They can have it.
We'll see how much you can get for it. Another game, Plague Tale Innocence.
Okay.
A little indie game. And then I get something dirt cheap. Thief. The Thief game that came out on Xbox One. Was it Thief 4? What was that?
It's just called Thief.
Just Thief? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. I've now
I have
moved it
GameStop
on the
stories
screen.
about that game.
You have what?
I actually have a GameStop story about that game when I was working at GameStop and someone came in and asked for Thief, but...
And you said...
I'll just say while you're looking stuff up. I was working at GameStop, and a dude came in, and he was looking at games on the wall, and it was near the launch, so it was relatively new. He said, "Hey, man, what's that theft about?" I'm like, "Excuse me, sir?" He's like, "Yeah, what's theft about?" Well, you mean thief? He's like, "Oh, yeah, that's what I said." I'm like, all right, sir. You have a good day.
Okay. I've run into a conundrum. Thief, the game in question, was available on Xbox, but GameStop is only offering credit for the PS4 version.
Okay.
Do I take the PS4 value or do I find a different game?
Yeah. Just take the PS4 value if you want to. That's fine because we knew it was on Xbox, so that's fine.
$2.20.
Okay.
Plague Tale Innocence. Oh fuck! This just came out for new gen too. That's gonna fuck me. Yep. Xbox Series X is $11. I forgot they remastered that.
Okay, well you're still not bad.
1320. That Xbox Connect is God.
It's either gonna put you way over or you're gonna be just at 20.
Oh my God. Microsoft Connect for Xbox One is $11.
Ooh,
yeah, I
hate to see
busted. I'm at $24.20 on that one. All right.
What am I at?
Let's see yours. We're going to go wired Xbox One controller.
Mm-hmm. Fucking wired Xbox One controller. Jesus.
Okay. We run into another conundrum here. Oh, let me just try Xbox One controller.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that might work.
They had the Duke, and then they had some third-party options, but they didn't have a first-party option.
Oh, okay.
Wireless. There's a
if you're going to let me,
yeah,
the wired third party is what I was going for.
Okay, let's try. See what's there.
Because I know Xbox doesn't officially make wired controllers.
So there are there are two third-party options. There's just assorted brands Xbox One wired controller for $8.80, and there's a Razer Wolverine Ultimate wired controller for Xbox One for $44.
Well, yeah. Well,
I feel like that's
you can make
the
your call.
Pro controller. Like that's a different.
Obviously, doing the assorted one. Yeah, that's like give me an Xbox controller, and it's the Elite. I was like, of course, I didn't mean the Elite. I know that thing's very expensive.
Okay,
you know, those Razer controllers are like $150.
Yeah.
So if you don't mind, I meant the assorted random. Like it's literally just like random brand wired controller is what that SKU is.
All right, so that was $8.80.
Okay.
We ran into another thing with Madden. They only accept as early as Madden NFL 21. They don't accept 20.
Okay, I'll take 21.
Okay.
I just wanted the last one that they would be willing to take, which I'm sure it's like 90 cents.
It is $5.50.
What?
Yeah. For NFL 21 on Xbox One.
That's wild.
And so the last one, NBA 2K20. We might be in the same boat here with
it might be
21.
We'll see.
Let's see. 15 results here. Okay. 2K22, WWE 2K20, NBA 2K21. Okay, yeah, 2K21 is the oldest one. And you are in luck. It is $4.40, bringing you to $18.70. So you definitely beat me that round.
Hey.
All right.
Man, they've changed their pricing since I've been there.
Have they?
We used to get people literally 99 cents for old Maddens. We're like, yeah, here's $1. Get the fuck out.
You can trade in an Xbox One X NBA 2K20 edition for $275 right now.
Those were dope.
That's not a bad deal.
All right, we got to do best 2 out of 3, man.
Best 2 out of 3. Okay, so one more round. So we're even, 1-1 right now.
Mm-hmm.
All right, what do you got?
I want to do. Give me whatever the oldest Far Cry they will accept.
Far Cry, old.
3, 4.
All right.
Yeah, whatever Far Cry that they're willing to give me. I want to take Halo. Ooh, I don't know if that's safe or not. Halo Master Chief Collection.
Halo MCC.
And then I will do. I'm trying to think what could be cheap that's not going to put me over. That's just a BS game. Give me Lego Marvel Superheroes 2.
Lego Marvel Superheroes 2. All right. I'm gonna go Marvel versus Capcom 3. We will do. I feel like there was a new Ace Combat game that came out, right?
It's like 7 or something.
Yeah, well, whatever the newest Ace Combat game is.
Yeah.
And I want to say Banjo-Kazooie, but I don't. Oh, Rare Replay.
Replay. That's a good one.
Okay.
So now that you've had your choices in, that Marvel vs. Capcom 3 is absolutely going to put you over.
Is it really?
I guarantee that game on. I bet that
Son
game
of
by
a
itself.
bitch.
We'll see.
Well, let's start there.
I
Let's look
feel-
at it. Marvel vs.
Okay.
Capcom 3.
Oh no,
Xbox
that's 3.
One.
I'm thinking of 2. 2's the rare one.
Oh, 2 is the one that people freaking go gaga
That's
for.
what I'm thinking. Yeah, you might be fine with
Although
it.
it is much higher than I expected it to be. Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3, $14.30.
Boy.
$14.30. Okay. Ace Combat. Ace Combat 7, Skies Unknown. Yeah, that's the newest one.
I think that's the newest one.
$5.50.
Yeah. Okay. So what is it?
God,
19
that means I
change?
have $1.20 for Rare Replay left to play with. Damn it.
Okay.
This is going to go way over.
It's going to be like
Oh.
$2.
$3.30.
Oh,
Weirdly
boy.
enough, okay, so Rare Replay will get you $3.30.
Mhm.
There's a game, like there's a all-in-one package that has Gears of War Ultimate Edition and Rare Replay in the same pack, and that only
Okay.
gets you $2.20.
Hmm.
You get
More game, less value.
Yeah. So yeah, I went over at $23.10. Let's look.
Even if
yours
you
up.
took that $2 version, you still would have went over, right?
Yeah, I still would have went over. I went over by
Okay.
$1. All right, Far Cry. Let's see. Whatever the oldest
We gotta
Far
keep
Cry
your
is,
number.
right?
Yeah, we got to keep your number just in case mine. That's what we determine
Yep.
the winner, how much you went over
Yep.
by.
It's on the screen right now.
Yeah,
Everyone
mine
can
was the
see it.
oldest Far Cry that they're willing to take. I'm
Let's
guessing
see,
3
Far
or
Cry
4,
Primal's
maybe.
in here. Far Cry 2 for 360 is in here. I think that's as old as we get.
Yeah, I did say oldest. I should have said 3, but I did say oldest. So
All right,
we'll
so
go
Far Cry 2, $2.20.
Oh, really? I was
Yeah.
scared it was going to be like, this is rare. It's $30.
Halo
I can
Master
do that.
Chief Collection.
I was going to go Halo Anniversary, but I was like, that might actually be a little dangerous.
Ooh, $13.20 for Master Chief Collection.
Okay, puts me at
You're
15 and change.
$15.40.
Okay.
Lego Marvel Superheroes
Stu.
2. This I feel like is going to be a sleeper. Enormous. Oh, shit. Oh, man, you son of a bitch. $20.90 again. Like $20.90. So it was $5.50.
That's
Sorry,
what I got.
$5.50 was for Marvel Superheroes 2.
Ooh,
Oh,
Look at that.
God. That's like as perfect as it gets without going over. Nicely done, Adam.
Look at
Nicely
that.
done.
I'm the master of GameStop blackjack. Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Very, very well done.
They say their time is coming soon. Oklahoma mine's coming soon.
Well, that's it for Game on Game Show, and that is it for our podcast, episode 233 of Respawn Aim Fire. Thank you, everyone, for listening. This has been a really great episode. Lots of great fun and goofs and rap battle and education and lots of great things happened today. You have homework. Your first piece of homework, go to Respawn Aim Fire Patreon at patreon.com/RespawnAimFire. Get a bunch of dope stuff. Be able to vote on games. Speaking of voting on games, you all voted that Adam and I are playing for Game of the Year consideration. I'm playing Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart for November/December. And Adam, you are playing It Takes Two, correct?
It takes two, baby.
It takes two to make it out of
takes
sight.
two to make out of sight.
You all voted, and that's what we're playing. So we will definitely have, we'll prioritize those, if not a few others as well, before the end of the year for Game of the Year discussion. And have yourself a merry little Christmas. That's your last piece of homework. And if you haven't started listening to Christmas music, take anyone in your life who tells you not to and just throw them in the river. And give them an inner tube, but just like let them know what it's like to struggle. And that's it. Thank you, Adam, for hanging out. Thank you. Oh, wait, there's something coming up that was going to launch in a few weeks that you did with Court, right? No.
Oh, I don't know when that launches. We will talk about it.
Oh,
But keep an eye
we'll
out.
announce that for real whenever it comes out.
Yeah, when it comes up, we'll bring it up.
Okay. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Thank you, Adam, for being here with me. And thank you to whatever you said my name was at the beginning of the show that I don't remember anymore.
Jack Harlow.
Jack Harlow. Jack McBrayer was Kenneth on 30 Rock. Very funny guy. All right, everyone. Until next time, here's our usual sign-off. Do you remember the name of that freelance writer that Adam told you to remember? Because I do. George Yang.
George Yang.